Hello and welcome, Exiles, to the update to the Vaal Cold Snap character day number 2. This time our slash played is 20 hours and 46 minutes. Let me hide the webcam so you can actually see it. I was covering it last time and I didn't realize. So we did about another 10 hours of gameplay. We upgraded our character by changing the tree around slightly, adding Divine Flesh, getting our Uber Lab, and getting a lot better, life scaling. We're at 11k life with 6k with Petrified Blood up. And our damage is also quite a lot higher. We got a +2 pair of gloves. Our weapon is better than it was before. Obviously, I'm gonna recraft this. Right now, it's just one Essence of Woe and then bench crafted cooldown multi. We will recraft this. Is the plan. We got rings that are a bit better for chaos res. I think I have maybe the same amulet. Upgraded the boots a little bit. Upgraded the belt a little bit. And we now have Wrathbith for damage scaling. So currently, our tooltip compared to yesterday is about 580k and 670k. Between the two, it's around million plus DPS between Frost Bomb and Frostbite. Eventually, we'd like to add an additional curse for LA weakness and other stuff. But for right now, that's what we got, and we just started doing our first invitation rotation. I have not done formed yet, so this will be a first one for me. This is an enfeeble monster life, less AoE, so not too many damage mods, but there are quite a few double tank mods there between enfeeble and the extra what's it called? So when you start off a boss fight like this, you'll notice it doesn't take long. Like we did about 10% of Chimera's HP and we already have 6 Vaal souls. So that's how you're always starting off the boss fights, is you are putting down whatever your cold snap initially, and then that will be enough to get you your initial charges. You wait for, oh shoot, I'm not playing this rightly. I just realized I think I double cast. I wasn't playing scary. I'm not. Basically, don't double cast your Vaal Cold Snap. It doesn't give you any additional DPS, and I did that because I wasn't really thinking about what I was doing. But anyways, this fight's about to get a lot harder because we have all of them in the arena. I have like a bleed on me or something. I'm not sure exactly. But anyways, as I was saying, you only need to do a little bit of damage to the initial boss for you to start doing the Vaal skills chain. That's all I was getting at. And no, don't grow tougher. Don't grow tougher. That's not ideal. Right now our regen I think is about 1500 or so, which isn't as much as I would like it to be between vitality and the regen nodes we have on tree. I haven't been able to get regen tattoos yet, but that is on the agenda to do. Regen tattoos are a part of us sustaining the degen of Wrathbith Globe, Righteous Fire for extra damage, and eventually Annihilation's Approach. But that's just more of a, we will put it on as we get the tattoos, as we get the regen, we'll start getting that stuff done. As for additional tank, like right now, like if we're like sitting like this bar of our HP bar, I actually am thinking about going for a Defiance of Destiny setup with this character. Defiance of Destiny gets like double value on Petrified Blood builds, which feels really good in my opinion. Is Hydra's already dead, I guess? Yeah, Hydra must be already dead. Okay, anyways. That went fine-ish. I wasn't really focused. I was kind of like all over the place. But anyways, as I was saying, improvements to defenses that we're going to go for is we're going to try to force a bit more max res, more HP scaling, Defiance of Destiny. All these things will make this character go from like, this feels okay with Wrathbith, dude, this feels godlike. That's what the transition we want to make is. Right now, we're just on the edge of making Wrathbith work. Essentially, I grabbed these regen nodes. I have the regen side of this wheel. I have a little bit of regen here, and then I have this anointed. Like, our regen investment right now is pretty on the low side, and that's the current situation. The other thing you'll notice is currently I have not swapped over to like the full life scaling tree where we start tattooing all the nodes with life regen. And there is a specific reason for that, something that I'm I'm still working through, which number one is I don't have a way to deal with ailments yet, so I still kind of want to keep Tempest Shield and Flesh and Stone in the build. Later on, when I swap over to Blood Magic and stuff, we have to drop those reservations, so I'm stalling on it for that reason. I want to get like a Storm Shroud or something set up with a Void Shot or a Void Elemental ailments of some type. Reason number two is we found out that apparently with Divine Flesh, even though all the damage is bypassing your energy shield, none of it's going to it. It was pointed out by a viewer who I ended up getting in an argument with because I was like tell him how to fix the problem and he wasn't listening. But anyways, besides the point, We were gonna find it out when we click Divine Flash. Anyways, even though the damage is bypassing your energy shield, it somehow still disables recharge. It doesn't disable recharge when you have Eldritch Battery. So let me show this in the Blood Aqueduct zone. It doesn't disable it right now, but right now we have Rhyme Gaze, which has reduced recharge rate, and we have the less recharge rate from Eldritch Battery. But you can see recharge is not being disabled. But if I go unspec this node, and I have my ES in front of my life pool over here, you can see it's steadily going up. That's the recharge rate without the 50% less, but it still has a 50% reduced from Rhyme Gaze. You'll see I get hit, and it disables the recharge. Even though none of the damage is going to the ES, it just stops the recharge from occurring. And this is problematic for the reason of you're fighting a boss, you want that to not stop. You want that to not turn off. Long story short is the solution is relatively straightforward. It's relatively easy. And that solution is the belt mod with the regen. Right now, it's what we're using anyways to solve our ES sustain because Rhyme Gaze has that bricked recharge rate. And the way this will end up working is we will have Divine Flesh on. Eventually, I'm going to be a not Eldritch Battery, so I won't have reduced or less recharge rate. And on top of that, eventually, I will also not have Rhyme Gaze on. This is just a placeholder helmet. Just has some early damage scaling, but it's not something we want late game. But the idea is, if I have the regen belt, my only source of ES is Wrathpith, then our ES number can be relatively low. Right now we're at like 900. This would be more like 500 if I didn't have the ES from this helmet right here, which would mean 200 regen per second would refill our ES within basically about 2.5 seconds. And the upside of that is, if I put on, I also have ES from the belt. You really don't want, basically you don't want a lot of extra ES because it just makes the regen mod take longer to top you off. But anyways, as I was saying, the way this will work is if you're fighting a monster, you're next to a rare, therefore this is filling up your Everlasting Sacrifice. If there's a downtime in a fight where you're not fighting the monster, your energy shield recharge should be on and topping you off with energy shield or Everlasting Sacrifice. That right now is going to be the plan going forward, although I will tinker with this in the future and find something that feels the best. I'm obviously going to be testing this out and playing this out and feeling it out and giving you guys my recommendations as I try things out. But for right now, this mod is just key. Number one, early on when you're Eldritch Battery and you have Rhyme Gaze, it's key for giving you that sustain. And then later on when we swap out of Eldritch Battery and we'll have hits actually disabling our recharge, we need something that sustains our ES, and this is our backline defense for that. That's the current plan. Obviously, there's some other solutions we could look into, but for right now, that is what we're going to go with. And I hope you guys appreciate the man who told us about this. I got frustrated with him at the time because he was being like really pestery, like pay attention to me. You have to stop what you're doing on stream and do what I want to do. But he did point it out to us, and not that we wouldn't have realized it the second we clipped Divine Flush, but I guess it was nice to know it, I don't know, an hour sooner. Anyways, so that's the current setup of the character. I'm going to keep progressing the build. Today's agenda is doing invitations, doing our Uber Elder, doing our Maven, and I am setting up to do a beast farm strategy, and we'll see if it pans out. I don't know if it's going to work well, but that's what I'm trying. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. As always, thanks for watching, Exiles. Take care, and peace out. Have a good one.